the Philadelphia 76ers signed Paul George to a 4-year, $212 million contract, pairing him up with newly re-signed Tyrese Maxey on a 5-year, $204 million extension. Mike, the 76ers are putting some weapons around Embiid, but is this still the same 76ers, or is these actual moves going to actually change what they've been doing, or is this just the same damn team that's been going on for the last few years?
No, it's definitely an upgrade. You get Tobias Harris out of there that he can probably average like 15 points per game. He probably averages like 10 points per game. He shows up whenever he feels like it. It's like he calls off from work every other week and he has unlimited sick days of how Tobias Harris playing on the court. This is why he went back to the Detroit Pistons on a 2-year, what was it? 2-year, $52 million deal. This guy just robbed Detroit of their money. Detroit fans, go find this man. This guy robbed you. And it's an upgrade with Paul George. He's a better shooter, better rebounder, better teammate, better player, better, I don't even know, better commentator, better podcaster. He's better at everything. He's just better. And Tobias Harris had to go. They bring him in. It's definitely an upgrade. But is it enough to beat the Boston Celtics? No, it's not.
That's really what it comes down to, honestly. And with it's going to be tough out there in the East because they added Paul George. Now it's kind of, is Paul George past his prime in this situation? I still like Paul George a lot. That it's not really moving anything for me for the 76ers. Now Tyrese Maxey, on the other hand, deserves every bit of that Maxey deal. Get it? But he's an amazing young talent. I have loved Tyrese Maxey. I think that was a well-deserved contract for him. I just don't think Philadelphia has done enough to change them getting out of the second round.
Yeah. Yeah. No,
See,
and you're right. And you're right.
see, I kind of disagree though. Like, I feel like, I think, obviously we were kind of moving past the big three era now. Like, before everybody was trying to get big threes. Now it's more of like duos and just trying to build
I
it.
think it's way past the big three. I think
Yeah.
that's way long
No,
gone.
you
Yeah.
need the deep nine. That's what you need.
Yeah,
The deep nine.
100%.
Normally, I would say like a team that's trying to go for a big three is kind of screwed. But honestly, if you think about what Philadelphia needs as far as like for a third star, if you want to call that, PG fits it perfectly. He's a guy that can create his own shot. He can score. He can play make. He can do a little bit of everything. Play great defense on the perimeter, and he's not going to be asked to do as much as he was in places like OKC and places like LA. He's just going to be able to kind of just be that third option behind Tyrese and Joel. And then also though too, but be, one of the best all around players on the team. But they didn't just get PG as well. Like you've got, say what you will about him. You got Eric Gordon, you got Andre Drummond that are being added to the team as well for some depth. I mean, is it gonna be enough to beat Boston? Probably not, but it definitely puts you up there. Like it makes you more competitive. And I think it slides you up a few spots in the East. And I think that honestly, out of all the 76ers teams that I think have been fielded the last few years, this is probably going to be, at least in my opinion, I think it could be the very best one that they've had in the Joel Embiid era. So
I agree. I agree. And if they re-sign Buddy Hield, I think they're even more impactful. It's just that the ultimate question is, can you beat the Boston Celtics? Because that's the team right now. Is the best team in the NBA, obviously, but they're in your conference. You got to get through them to make it to the NBA Finals. And
Right.
if we're doing matchup count, Paul George on JT, okay, cancel each other out. Joel Embiid on KP, cancel each other out. Tyrese Maxey on Derek White, cancel each other out. But then you got Drew Holiday. Then you got two buddies coming off the bench for Celtics, and who do the Sixers got?
What
Kelly
do you say,
Oubre.
Embiid and KP?
Say it again.
That was just I caught the tail end. You said Embiid and KP cancel each other out.
Yeah, I mean, not obviously Joel Embiid's a better player.
Oh, I was
But
gonna say, yeah.
I'm
I
just
think
saying.
that would
I'm just saying the matchup. The matchup.
Yeah,
You know
yeah,
what I'm
okay.
saying? Like the Celtics are deep, is what I'm saying, compared to
Yeah.
the Sixers.
Yeah.
The who they're gonna get off the bench? Kelly Oubre.
Right.
Oubre is gonna
Right.
give you maybe in a 7-game series. He'll probably give you 2 good games.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I definitely like the way Philadelphia is constructed with this one. I do agree. I think this is one of the better teams that they actually have in this whole thing. It's gotten to the point that if this doesn't work, they're gonna have to pull the trigger on moving some pieces, even though they just kind of put this together. It's unfortunate, but I think you've ran down this Embiid road, and we've already been down this road before. I just don't find Embiid as a winner. I think he's a hell of a talent. He can play. He's a hell of a baller, MVP already, but I just don't find him a winner. And in most clutch situations, he's had a couple good games, but for overall, he just hasn't been there. It hasn't been able to get him out. And at that size, been on his skill set, what he's able to do. I just don't think that Philadelphia is set up anymore better than they were last year. Now they were able to move some pieces and bring some other guys in, so they definitely have improved, but it just doesn't, it's not doing anything for me, if you will. But
Yeah.
you
And
know,
I mean, if worse comes to worse, if this is like, the last ride of that, the trust the process 76ers and they're looking to ship out some pieces, hey, we'll take Tyrese down in Orlando all day. So
yeah, and I think anybody would take him. I think he's the piece you're going to keep. You're going to move Embiid because he's constantly hurt, or he's just not doing it for you anymore. But
yeah.